What's going on, friends and family? Man, God has given me a mighty word on this subject. This really needs to be said, especially in today's time, because somewhere along the way we got it twisted. And I want to kind of give you guys a nice reminder, biblical reminder, not on people opinions, but a biblical reminder about marriage and about men finding favor with the Lord. God has put this in my spirit tonight because in this generation, things have really gotten twisted. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. And I kind of want to put this out there because I truly believe it needs to be said. And guys, I'm going to give you a moment to get on. This is a prompt video. I wasn't planning on teaching on this subject tonight, but the Lord wanted me to talk about it. Who's on? Who's on tonight? Let's talk about this message. How y'all doing tonight? Hope all is well. Who's on? Where y'all tuning in from? What is going on, my Facebook family? God has given me a word concerning marriage. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Heavenly Father, I just come before you humbly, thanking you, Lord, for this quick word you wanted me to share with your Facebook family, as well as my brothers and sisters, and as well as your children. I pray that your words be spoken, not my opinions, but your word. Have your way, Father. As I decrease, I pray that you might increase. Use me to speak this word. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, guys, I just have a really, really quick word from the Lord. We are living in society today that somehow it really got it twisted that when a woman finds a husband, it's almost like, girl, you got your husband. Wow, man, you are so blessed, man. You are so blessed. And reason why I say this, I have daughters, and I'm raising my children to know that they are the prize. I'm going to raise my girls knowing that they are the prize, that they are special. And women, I just want to remind you, God did not say anything to men about, say anything to women about when they find a husband that they have found favor. Women, you got to understand, you guys are the ones that make a house a home. You guys are the one to bear children. You guys are the one that are nurturing. You understand? You guys are the one that brings value to a man. I got to admit, when I was single, I was lost in the sauce. When I was single, first of all, I didn't even have a real kitchen. You know, my kitchen, it had that, it didn't have gas. It was electric. You know, I had old appliance because I didn't really know how to cook. I had a beautiful house, but it wasn't a home. So when I met my wife and we started dating and when we got married, you know what I mean? It changed the whole atmosphere. A woman is like, you know how you put, you decorate your house and it's something about fresh flowers. When you put flowers inside of a home, it changed the atmosphere. It's something about fresh flowers. You know what I mean? It changes the atmosphere. Well, women, you are like a flower. You're like a flower to a home. When a woman is in a home, when a woman is in a house, it becomes a home. When it's a good woman. Now, all women are not wifey material. That's why the Bible says when a man finds a wife, that a man has found favor with the Lord. So just because you're a woman does not make you a wife, because there's plenty of women out there doesn't have wife qualities. Can I just keep it real with you? There's plenty of women out there don't know how to be nurturing. There's plenty of women out there don't know how to raise their children properly. There's plenty of women out there that don't know how to make a house a home. A lot of women feel like long as they fine, long as they look good, they don't have to work, they don't have to do anything, they don't have to cook, they don't have to help keep the house maintained, they don't have to be nurturing to their children, they don't have to be nurturing to their husband because they fine. Women, it takes more than being fine. It takes more than having a nice body. You know what I mean? A Proverbs woman is a woman that knows how to bring the whole house together. A Proverbs woman know how to get in that kitchen and know how to make a meal from nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to the women out there. If you are a wife, you understand what I'm saying? You are special. If you are nurturing, if you are loving, if you have a God-fearing heart, if you know how to take that man that's been working all day from a 12-hour day, and that man gets home frustrated, once he walk in that door, you know exactly what to do to that man to make him feel at home. You know how to rub his feet. You know how to prepare a meal. You know how to rub his back. You know how to encourage him. You are a wife, and that is something special. Just because you are a woman does not make you a wife. There's plenty of women out there are not faithful to their husbands. There are plenty of women out there don't know how to even boil an egg. There's plenty of women out there don't know the first thing to do when their children have a cold. You understand what I'm saying? So in order for you to become a wife, I want to encourage you to get before God. Get before him and ask him, what would it take for me to get ready for my husband? What is it going to take for me to get ready for my spouse? I want a king, but I know I am not spiritually prepared to receive my king because I am not a wife yet. So it takes more than just being a woman to become a wife. But women, I just want to remind you that you are the prize if you truly are a wife. And you have wife qualities. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not bragging. I'm just being confident in what I'm saying. Seneca is a wife. She know how to take care of her children. She know how to take care of me. She know how to take care of her home. And she know how to make a dollar. You understand what I'm saying? She is a Proverbs woman. She's everything the Bible talks about. And that's what I prayed for. I prayed for a wife. I didn't pray for somebody just cute and fine and all that. I pray for that too. But I prayed for a wife. I prayed for a heart, for a woman to have a heart for God, a woman that's nourishing, a woman that knows how to make me feel better if I'm sick, a woman that's going to be good to my kids. And I got exactly what I prayed for. But men, I hate to tell you this. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how many degrees on your wall. You are not the prize. You know why you're not the prize? Because you can't bear yourself no children. You know why you're not the prize? Because you can't make a house a home. It's something about a woman, something about a wife, man, something about a real wife. It changes the whole atmosphere of the house. Man, I love going to my homeboy's house that's married and they got good wives because it reminds me of my home. When you walk in the house, it smells good. Things are in order. You know what I'm saying? You smell the pot roast in the oven. You understand what I'm saying? You see the cornbread on the stove, and the woman I always say, baby, the food is ready. The food is ready, man. And they get their plate and they lay the plate out on the table. And the wife don't mind putting ice in a drink and pouring a drink in front of them. You understand what I'm saying? Because they have that nurturing spirit. You know what I'm saying? When you're sick, a wife will come to you, man, and they check your temperature and they get a cold towel and they put on your forehead to kind of ease your fever. You understand what I'm saying? When I'm sick, my wife takes care of me. When I'm sick, my wife makes sure she's there for me. When I'm hungry, man, she makes sure that she cooks me breakfast and she brings it to my bed and she nourishes me back to life. That is a wife, man. So I'm here to remind you, brothers, you're not the prize. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care if you stand in a high rise and you got all the money in the bank. You can't do what a woman can do. A good woman can carry a child for 9 months, conceive that baby, and take care of that baby. Ain't nothing like a mother's love. We can be that great father and we can take care of our children. But you know what? The first thing a baby would do, most of the time, they don't cry for their daddy. They cry for their mother. They cry for their mother because it's something about that motherly love. It's something about that motherly instinct. Kids know, man, my mama, something about my mama is special. I pride myself of being a great father, but I know my girls, as much as they love me, they call their mama more than they call me. When I put them to bed, they want to make sure mama give them a hug. It's something about a mother. It's something about that nurturing spirit that's in a home that cannot be replaced. Can't no man replace it. Can't no dog replace it. No cat replace it. It takes a woman of God, a nurturing woman, a wife that makes a house a home. Anyway, just a quick reminder, women, stop proposing to these men. Stop getting down on one knee. I don't know where that came from. Women proposing to men, asking men to marry them. Stop. If y'all know anybody that's out there asking a man to marry them, remind them what the Bible says. When a man finds a wife, he had found favor with the Lord. No woman should not be pressuring a man to marry them. No woman should be not hounding a man to marry them. You know what I'm saying? You should let a man know where you stand. You should let a man know that you're not looking to date 2 and 3 years. You know what I'm saying? To get married. You should let a man know your intentions, that you're not into that long dating for a long period of time. But if that man don't see value in you to put a ring on it, it shouldn't take no more than 2 years for a man to marry you. A real man know within 6 months to marry a woman, a year at the most. But I would give him 2 years. If that man haven't asked to marry you, if that man is probably looking for something better, because in his mind, you're not the one. You're not the one. A real man is going to step up and ask you to marry if you truly wifey material. If you know you're a good wife, if you know you have those qualities, and that man looking over you and not looking through you and looking at you, then chances are he haven't quite grown up yet, and he thinks somebody out there finer. He thinks somebody out there that makes more money is something he's looking for, and he haven't found that in you, or he just immature and he just want his cake and eat it too. So don't let a man string you along and date you for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and not ask to marry you, because you are taking your precious years, childbearing years, and you wasting it on someone that you could have been making room for your real husband. And that's the truth, okay? Most men that loves the Lord want to get married. Most men that has a heart for God wants to get married because they want to live according to God's will. They want to live in holiness. They want to live in righteousness. They don't want to have sex outside marriage. They don't want to sleep around. They want to get married, and they want to have that sexual relationship inside of a marriage, okay? So know what you married to. Make sure this man loves his mother. Make sure this man pays attention to his family, his children. Make sure that man takes care of his daughter. Make sure that man takes care of his son. Make sure that man calls and checks on his mom, and make sure his mother have everything they need, because that's a sign of a husband. Every man is not a husband. Hallelujah, somebody. Every man is not a husband, just like every woman is not a wife. There's plenty of men out there are not husband material. You understand what I'm saying? If that man wants to go out every night, that man wants to go to the club every night, if that man always want to hang out with his boys, if that man loves the streets more than he loves you, he's not a husband. Stop trying to make men husbands, women. Okay? The Bible said you will know them by their fruits. If that man is always out, if that man is always in the clubs, if that man is always hanging out with his boys and never wants to spend time with you, that man don't love you. That man love the streets. He is for the streets. Every man is not a husband. Hallelujah, somebody. Every man is not a husband, just like every woman is not a wife. You got to know what you're dealing with. You got to seek the Lord with all your heart. Make sure he's your husband first before you go out and try for a man to find you. Because if you make sure God is your husband first, because we are his husbands. You understand what I'm saying? We are the bride of Christ. You got to understand, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, we are all Jesus Christ's spouse. We are all God's spouse, because he is our husband, because we are the bride of the church. So first, brothers and sisters, you need to be married to God first. Then seek for a husband and seek for a wife. Because if you put God first in your life, you will be able to identify with your wife. You will be able to identify with you will see your husband, because God will take the veil off your eyes, and you'll be able to see that man for who he is, and you'll be able to see that woman for who she is. The reason why people are marrying the wrong person is because y'all are finding your husband and y'all are finding your wife through the flesh. And if you find your husband and if you find your wife through the flesh, you're going to have a fleshly marriage. Hallelujah, somebody. You are going to have a fleshly marriage. The moment that woman gain weight, you're not going to be no longer interested in her. The moment that man gains weight, you're going to be no longer interested in him. The moment that man's income drop, you're going to be no longer interested in him. You're going to want to find somebody else with more money. You're going to find you're going to want to find a woman with a flat stomach or a bigger booty, because you found your wife through the flesh versus finding your wife through Christ. You understand what I'm saying? We got to get back to the basis of Christianity, guys. We are dating wrong and we are marrying wrong. People are divorcing before they even eat the cake the second time. You know, you're supposed to eat the cake after 1 year. You're supposed to freeze your cake, y'all. After you get married, you're supposed to freeze your cake, and you're supposed to eat the cake after a year. You got so many marriages, spend $20,000, $50,000 on a marriage, and they don't even make it the first year because they are dating for sex. They dating because that woman rocked your world in the bedroom. That man rocked your world in the bedroom, and you don't even know this man. You don't even know this woman. Only thing you saw with this man, he had a nice car, he had a nice house, and he made 6 figures. That's it. That's all you saw. And you just checked the boxes. He make money. He drives a nice car. He has a nice house. He has insurance. He has benefits. He's my husband. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie, because it takes more than that to be a husband. Do this man loves his mother? Do this man pray at night? Do this man pray in the morning? Did this man have a relationship with Christ? Is this man sensitive to your needs? Is this man know how to worship God? Do this man know how to take care of his children? Do this man even call his mama and check on him? You understand what I'm saying? It takes more than money and having a house and having a car to be a husband. Start looking at this man. Start examining this man. Start watching this man's eyes when you go out on a date. Make sure that man is not staring at every good-looking woman that walk in a restaurant. Make sure that man is not staring at every good-looking woman that walk into the nightclub or whatever y'all at. You understand? A man can't hide who he is. A man cannot hide who he is. If he's a dog, he's gonna bark. If he's a dog, he's gonna scratch. You understand what I'm saying? Women, pay attention to a man's eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Men, pay attention. Women, pay attention to a man's eyes. If he's always looking at every woman that passed by, and every time a woman come in that's fine, and he got to stare at her, he ain't the one. Because a true man, a husband, is going to have eyes for you, and he's going to pay attention to you. He's not worrying about every big booty that passed the table. And also make sure that man ain't staring at good-looking men too, because there's a lot of down low brothers out here. If you want to know if your man down low, watch his eyes. If a good-looking man come inside a restaurant, you better look at his eyes. You better look at his eyes, because no man, I don't care how good-looking a man is, he should not be staring at another man. He should not be looking at another man. A real man is not going to be staring at another dude, period. I don't care how muscular he is. I don't care how fine he is. No man is going to look at another man. It's okay to notice that brother clean, but he shouldn't be looking at him like this. Something wrong with that. Something wrong with that. And I can't tell you how many inboxes I get from women finding out their husband sleeping with men. I don't know what sick stuff and when that happened and all that, what's going on, but there's a lot of down low brothers out here that's not all the way straight, y'all. And I don't care if you dabble in a man, you gay, period. I don't care if you're receiving or giving. No man should have no business dealing with another man, period. Period. Okay? So anyway, somebody needed that. Somebody needed that. So women, how do you notice a good man? That man got to love his mama. That man's got to be able to take care of his children. That man got to pay attention to his children. That man has to have a relationship with God. If that man have no relationship with God, if that man is not God-fearing, he's going to cheat on you. Hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. If this man has no relationship with God, if this man have no fear of God, if this man have no intimacy with God, he is going to cheat on you. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. A man that's after God's own heart is not going to cheat because he feared God. He feared the Lord. Women, men, same thing. Same thing. We got to start paying attention to the people we date. You got to know what you're dealing with. If this man never inviting you over to his home, if this man only calling you late at night, if this man only calling you during the day, during business hours, chances are he's married or he's living with another woman. If a man is always putting his phone face down and never face up, chances are this man got another woman. Period. A real man, a real husband is not going to put his phone face down. He's going to put his phone face up, and he's going to take the call in front of you. If that man always got to leave the room every time the phone rings, chances are he's cheating on you. No man should be putting his boys before you all the time. It's okay for him to have some me time every now and then, okay? Maybe once a month, once every 2 months, okay? And I don't even care about that. Me personally, I don't want to hang out with my boys. My wife is my boy, and she my wife. You understand what I'm saying? Your spouse is supposed to be your best friend. You know what I'm saying? But if you just have to hang out with your boys, if you happen to hang out with your boys every weekend, chances are he up to something. Period. Period. Or he's looking for something else that's better. Because in your eyes, you're not cutting it. And that's just real talk, y'all. That's real talk. I don't know where it got so twisted. Women get so excited. Ooh, I'm going on a date. Oh my God, he got a nice car. Oh my God, girl, you should see his watch. You should see his shoes. And they will put up with this dude not calling them. They will put up this dude canceling dates. They will put up with this dude not even texting or responding. You supposed to, when a woman, if a guy ain't texting you back right away, he's not interested in you. It shouldn't take him 3 to 4 hours to respond to you. A man that's into a woman is going to respond respond to your text right away. A man that calls you, if he makes your call, he's going to call you back right away. You understand what I'm saying? If a man's not returning your text for hours at a time or don't return your text at all and always canceling on dates on you and only calling you late at night and only trying to come over late at night, you are his you know what? You are his smash and that's it. He don't think no more than you than just sex, unfortunately. So why waste your time with somebody that's not into you? You better off being by yourself and let the Lord bring you somebody that's worth having because you gave your heart to him first. And then the Lord will bring you somebody else. The Lord will bring you your king if you allow him to be number one in your life. And he will show you how to love the king that he brought you. Anyway. That's the word I had tonight. I don't know who needed that. Do y'all have any questions before I end this live feed? Women are the prize if you're wifey material. If you're wifey material. And women, you got to get yourselves together. You got to get yourselves together. In order to catch a husband, you got to be wifey material. You can't be out with the short shorts all the way up your, you know what, and showing all your chests and exposing your body. Because men is going to look at you not as a wife. They're going to look at you as somebody to have fun with. And they're going to put you in the smash category. A real husband, they looking for somebody. It's okay to kind of wear an outfit to kind of show that you have a nice shape, but leave some mystery to it. Leave some mystery to it. Leave some mystery to it. Don't expose everything, because it's too many women out there exposing everything. They in the mall and the butt cheeks hanging out, the breasts is showing. You know what I mean? It's a husband not gonna want that. You're gonna attract the wrong men. You're gonna attract the dudes that just want to smash. The dudes that's not gonna text you. The dudes that's not gonna call you. The dudes that's only gonna call you at night. The dudes that's gonna put you on a 4 and 5 girl rotation. Be modest in your dressing. Be modest. And don't be so desperate. If he calling you at the last minute, man, if he calling you at the last minute, don't accept his invitation. Just say, man, you should have told me this yesterday. It's 8 o'clock and you want me to meet you at 9? I'm already in the bed. I'm about to put my rollers in my hair. No, you need to call me earlier. You need to give me a day head start. I'm a woman. I got to shave my legs. I got to shave under my arms. You know, you just can't treat me like a dude. I'm a woman. It takes me a while to get ready. But women, they panic. They be so happy to be on a date. They'll let a man disrespect them. And they rushing to get ready. Poor woman, they rushing, they heel breaking. They walking, about to fall. That doggone eyelash not on right. You got one eyelash on and one hanging off your eye because you're rushing. Your hair ain't properly combed. Your track showing because you're rushing. And men, they sense that. A dog sense that. And once a dog sense that, they're going to treat you like a bone. They're going to treat you like a bone. They're going to treat you like a bone. They're not going to treat you like a wife because you're too excited. You're too desperate. Even if you are excited, don't let them know. Don't let them know. Don't let them know. And if they call you, you know what I'm saying? If they calling you late at night at 10 o'clock, answer the phone like you tired. Don't answer the phone like you've been waiting on them to call all night. Answer the phone like, hello. Even if you up, hello. Man, why you calling me at 11:30 at night? Why you just not calling me? Your phone don't work at 8 p.m. Your phone don't work at 7 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. Why you just not calling me? No, you can't come over here. My kids are asleep and I'm asleep. Why you want to come over this late? We're not going to watch TV. You must got something else on your mind. No. I'm not about that. I'm not trying to be your smash and grab. No. You're going to have to court me. You got to take me out. You can't treat me like that. I'm a woman. I'm wifey material. I'm not slut material. You let them know that. I'm wifey material. I'm not slut material. You do that with your sluts. I'm wifey material and I'm sleep. Good night. That dude's gonna be like, ooh, no, she didn't. But you know what? He gonna respect you. He gonna respect you. A man is only gonna a man is gonna do what you allow him to do. A man is going to do what you allow him to do. If you allow him to treat you like a slut, guess what? He's going to treat you just like a slut. He's not going to respect you. That's right. Ain't nothing open after 2 o'clock but legs and ER. You said that right. Even if you are desperate for a date, women, the worst thing you can do is let that dude know about it. Because you can turn a dog. You can turn let me tell you something, man, and women. Women, you can turn a man into a husband by the way you allow him to treat you. Hear me out, y'all. You can turn a man into a husband by the way you allow him to treat you. If you demand respect, if you let that man know what you expect and what you're going to put up with and what you're not going to put up with, that man's going to look at you totally different, and that man's going to fall in love with you for who you are, because you're not a pushover and you're not the rest of these desperate women out here. He gonna look at you totally different. He gonna say, because eventually man get tired, y'all. Especially a man in their late 40s and 50s. If they don't get tired, there's something wrong with them. Eventually men get tired and they want to become a husband. Especially if they have a heart for God. Now, don't get me wrong. You got some old fools out there that's 60 years old, late 50s and 60s, still acting a fool, and they still acting like little boys. Those men you cut off quickly. Don't waste your time with them. But there got some men out there that can become husbands on how you allow them to treat you. Somebody asked me a question. What was it? Yeah, a spouse should have friends. There's nothing wrong with a spouse having friends, but a spouse shouldn't put their friends before their spouse. Your spouse should always come before your friends. Yeah, a woman shouldn't look at another woman either. There's a lot of gay stuff going on with lesbians out there too. That's really bad right now. Women loving women, y'all. Because a lot of y'all women giving up on men and y'all turning to each other. But that's what the Bible talks about in the last days. And we just experiencing the last days right now. Yep, a lot of times people do marry because they can have sex. They won't feel guilty. Any other questions before I let y'all leave? Before I get off this live? What I think about Kevin Samuels, I never really watched his videos. The few videos that I did watch, I thought it was a little bit of both. I thought he was speaking some things was true, but a lot of it was shock value just for ratings and just to get more people to watch his videos. I think he was extreme, and I think he it's I speak truth when it comes to the word of God, but you gotta speak truth in love. And I think he did not speak truth in love. He did it with almost a sense of hatred. And but that's what got his ratings. And unfortunately, people like drama. People like dirt. So they don't like that mushy stuff. They like for people to get talking too crazy. And we live in a sick world, y'all. So he just appealed to the masses because people like to see dirt. They like to see darkness. And so he made his living off of shock value, and he made his living off of speaking nasty truth. And it's a way you speak truth. You're supposed to speak truth in love, and he did not speak truth in love. And the truth will set you free, but I think a lot of his so-called truth is questionable. Any other questions about dating? I just really believe that women, it's okay for a woman to dress sexy, but dress sexy with class. Because I still like to watch my wife dress sexy. There's nothing wrong with dressing sexy, but dress sexy with class. You don't have to show everything God gave you. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with catching the wrong dude. You catch him with the wrong bait. Somebody just said, "Where my wife at?" They miss you on my lives. I'm talking about relationships. All right, guys. Well, if you just not tuning in, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live feed. I got the queen, my wife here. She just came in. We're about to have movie night. What are your thoughts on emotional abuse in marriage? Emotional abuse in marriage. I don't think any abuse should be in marriage. The Bible says a man shall love his wife like Christ loves the church. And emotional abuse is not love. So I don't believe that God have called men to emotionally abuse our wives or to beat our wives? Are women abusing their husbands or emotionally abusing their husbands? Love does not have abuse. Love is supposed to love. And you should know your mate by the fruits. If that man or that woman is not showing you love and only causing you harm, then you now need to really go seek counseling. And marriage is supposed to hurt, guys. Marriage is not supposed to hurt. I don't know why people say marriage takes work. Marriage does not take work. Marriage take having an intimacy with the Lord. If you have an intimacy with the Lord, then guess who's going to do the work in the marriage? The Lord is going to do the work because you have a referee. The reason why marriage takes work, because most marriages are not Christ-centered, so therefore you don't have a referee. And if you don't have a referee, then everybody gets out of bounds and nobody says anything because y'all just playing the game of marriage and with no rules. There's no referee. When you have no referee in your marriage, then guess what? You're going to be out of bounds. You know, there's not going to be no heart to be faithful. There's not going to be no heart to be loyal. There's not going to be no heart to be faithful and loving to your spouse. There's not going to be no heart to give. There's not going to be no heart to say I'm sorry because there's no referee in your marriage. The reason why my wife and marriage are on point, and I'm not bragging, but I'm speaking facts. I can honestly say what you see on Facebook, it what goes on in my home every single day. We love each other. We respect each other. I can count maybe on one hand on how many times I yelled and screamed at my wife out of 10 years of being married. Am I right or wrong, babe?
You're right.
We don't yell. We don't scream. We don't disrespect each other. Yes, we have disagreements, but it's a way you disagree. You understand what I'm saying? When my wife gets upset with me, when she get hot at me, I don't even know it. When I get home, the food is still cooked. The house is still on point. Sometimes it's not. But when it's not, the housekeeper come. You understand what I'm saying? Because my wife makes a great living, so we hire a housekeeper. But guess what happens? We get in the bed. My wife turned that nightlight on, and she turned around, and she said, let's talk about it. I said, let's talk about what? I didn't even know she was upset. And then she would bring it to my attention and we'll talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? Because my wife talks to the Lord before she talks to me. When she gets upset, she said, babe, I got to go because I don't want to say something I regret. She know when to get off the phone because she's upset. Same thing with me. And if I do get upset and I raise my voice, what do I always do, baby? When I get upset with you, if I raise my voice, what do I do?
Let me think. What do you do? If you get upset and you raise your voice, you apologize.
I always apologize.
Yeah.
I always apologize. And I think one of the biggest problems in marriages, people are not apologizing when they're wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Because guess what? You're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to get it perfect because you're human. You're going to let your emotions get the best of you sometime. But let me tell you something. It's something about that word, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Ooh, baby, the most powerful word a husband and a wife can say, baby, I'm sorry. And that's what we are missing in marriages today because of pride. Pride is destroying marriages like you won't believe. If you can't apologize to your husband, if you can't apologize to your wife, this is your better half. The Bible say you as one. When you come together in marriage, you come together on one accord. That means it's supposed to be just you and your wife and Jesus Christ. And if you can't apologize to your wife, that means you can't apologize to yourself. That means you can't apologize to yourself because pride should not keep you from apologizing to the person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, for the person that bears your children, or the person that gave you your seed for you to have your children. Pride is killing marriages. It's too many married but single people out here. There's too many people that's married, but they are operating as single. Sorry and mean it. Yeah, you got to mean it. Don't just say you're sorry. You got to mean it. But it's so many people married but single because they still going out like they single. They still spending money like they single. They still not consulting with one another when it comes to spending money like they single. They still not coming home at night at a decent hour like they single. When you are married, you got to respect your spouse. You just can't waltz up in the house at 11 and 12 o'clock at night. Really? And you get off at 5 o'clock and you come in the house at 11 and 12 o'clock at night? You are single. You're not married. Because if a person loves you, they are going to respect you. Same thing with you women. You can't be hanging out with your girlfriends all the time. Because your girlfriends, a lot of them mad at the fact that you married. And they giving you bad advice, telling you to divorce your husband because y'all have one simple fight. Because she wants you to be single like her. She wants you to go through men like her. You got to watch these single women out here. A lot of these single women don't want to see you happy. You think these single women want to see you happy with your husband? A God-fearing single woman wants to see you happy because she know her time is coming. She know if God blessed you with a husband, God is going to bless her with a husband. But a non-God-fearing woman, she's not going to want to see you happy. She's not going to want to see your husband providing and taking care of the family and you coming home and getting the house ready for your husband, for your children, because she's going to talk down on your husband every chance you get, every chance she get. Girl, your husband getting fat. Girl, your husband getting fat. Ooh, your husband used to take better care of himself.
Men do that too.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. The single guys be talking to married men, discouraging them, like, oh man, that's only, you want to just be faithful.
Yeah. Guys, I can't tell you, before I got married to my wife, I had a so-called friend tell me, are you sure you want to marry that girl? Man, you don't even know her that well. You only been dating her 6 months. Man, you sure you want to marry that girl? He was trying to talk me out of marrying Seneca.
Sure did.
Am I lying, baby? He tried to talk me out of marrying Seneca. And let's think, if I would have listened to him, I would have missed out on 2 beautiful daughters. I would have missed out on a boss wife, because she is a boss wife. She's a Proverbs woman. She's a woman that knit and bring home something for the family to eat on. She's that kind of wife. Now, what if I would have listened to him because he's single? He's single, going through women. To this day, he going through women like underwear. Ain't got no woman. He's dating women after women, haven't settled down. He's in his 50s, still living by himself. And he tried to talk me out of marrying my queen. People that's miserable want you to be miserable just like them. But he don't know that I got on my knees and I prayed for my wife. He don't know I asked the Lord for a beautiful, fine woman, a woman that has a heart for God, a woman that knows how to be nurturing, a woman that knows how to make ends meet, a woman that's good with her hands, a woman that's good with her money, a woman that knows how to get in the kitchen to make food. He didn't know I prayed for her. So when I saw my wife, God told me, that's your wife. After dating her for 3 months, I already knew I was going to marry her. I already knew. But I would have missed out. I would have missed out, and I probably would have been still going through women like underwear. But look at her. I got my boo. Yes, I'm that happy. Yes, I love my wife. Yes, I come home every night. Yes, I rush to get home after 10 years of being with her. Yes, I deny going out with my homeboys because I'd rather be with her. Yes. I don't have to have homeboy night. Why?
Not just you, me too.
Same thing. How many times your girlfriends want to hang out?
A lot, but I don't go nowhere.
She don't go nowhere. Not saying there's something wrong with that. We're not trying to discourage people not to hang out with their friends. I'm just saying for us, we'd rather spend time together. Mm-hmm. For us, we'd rather go to the sports bar together. For us, we want to, we'll invite our homeboys, but I'm bringing my wife. Because my wife would do, she'll throw on a baseball cap, she'll put on some tennis shoes and a t-shirt, and she'll be one of the boys, right with my homeboys. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm bringing my wife, because she's my best friend. You know why I'm bringing my wife? Because I've been working all day. I've been working all week.
Well, every now and then you may go out without me.
Every now and then.
And I just don't want to go. You be wanting to bring me, and I be like, I don't feel like it. So I just don't go.
And I go.
And then you don't stay out late. You be home by 10 o'clock. I'm like, what you doing home? Go back out.
Because let me tell you something. I try to go out with my wife, and I meet somebody out. Hold on. Anyway, I'm back, guys. I be trying to go out without my wife, but me and my wife is so close. When I'm out without her, I be feeling weird. Like, damn, I want to be with my wife. Man, I'd rather be home in front of my home theater and Netflix, me curled up under my wife. Because when your marriage is Christ-centered, guys, he makes all things new. He makes all things fresh. It's no such thing that marriage takes work. When Christ is center, he keeps the romance hot. He keeps the marriage on point.
But I think marriage does take work, but it's just not hard work. People always try to say, oh, marriage is so hard.
Right. It takes work as in being willing to compromise.
Yeah.
But they make it like
it's work together.
Right. But it doesn't take like, oh, Lord, it's just so difficult.
Yeah.
It's not difficult because Christ will help you along the way. You know what I'm saying? The work part is knowing when to compromise, knowing when to give in, knowing when to say you're sorry.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, work.
Yeah.
But not like...
Because it's a work in progress.
Right.
Everybody marriage.
Right.
You can be married 2 years, 5 years, 20 years. You still got to work together in order to become stronger, and grow together and build that strong foundation. Right. So you can keep your marriage together.
And it takes work on making Christ the center.
Correct.
Now, it takes work making Christ the center, meaning you making sure you have your prayer time with your spouse, making sure you have prayer time alone, making sure you're making time for the word of God. Mm-hmm. Those things do take work because you got to press your way in your relationship with the Lord.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't press their relationship with the Lord. They don't have that prayer time. They don't have that individual prayer time. They don't have that coming together prayer time. Mm-hmm. What question did you have, Sister Jones? Somebody said, did I see your question?
Donna, did you see my question?
We're talking about marriage tonight.
Right here.
I have a best friend, and she and her husband has no intimacy, and she's ready to divorce. And what would you say to that? You've been counseling soon as a counselor is getting the root of trying to help them, does not want to go counseling anymore. Chances are, if a marriage have no intimacy, it's because somebody done saw intimacy through somewhere else. Mm-hmm. There's no way in the world a marriage should not have intimacy. There's no way. Bottom line. Because if you're not cheating on one another, you're going to need to release. There's going to be some intimacy. So chances are the love is gone, somebody's cheating, and somebody's getting intimacy somewhere else. So that's what I got to say about that.
And how do they bring that intimacy back into their marriage? Because I feel like she said, they've been married almost 10 years. In the beginning, and I think this is any relationship, you should be married if you're having sex and being intimate. But when you first get together, that you have those butterflies, you feel that fire, you excited, it's new. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, maybe 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever that time is, sometimes that the intimacy, the fire starts
I can tell you what happened.
Out. So if you want to get that, you can bring that intimacy back into your marriage. So how do
they get that fire back?
How do you get that fire back?
You know what? My wife and I have a rule. some people at my work saying, man, why did you buy that sports car? That's a bad sports car, man. It looks like a James Bond sports car. You know why I bought that sports car? For date night. I bought that sports car for date night. I bought that sports car to date my wife at least once every 2 weeks. We go out on a hot date like we dating. Baby, let me tell you something. You cannot stop dating your wife. And a lot of these marriages, they stop dating. A lot of these marriages, they don't have date night. And what happens is you start looking at your wife just as a mother and not your hot girlfriend anymore, not your hot wife anymore. She just become a woman in the house that's taking care of your children. And what happens is dude wind up seeing somebody at work or seeing somebody out in the streets, and he's taking her out on a date instead of taking his wife out on a date. You got to continue to date your spouse. And you got to make a decision that every week or every 2 weeks, we're going to go out on a date no matter what. And you got to keep it fresh. You got to go out and get lingerie. You got to make sure your wife buying lingerie. You got to be doing that stuff. And you got to let your wife know what you want, intimacy. You got to let them know what you looking, what you lacking, what you want more of. You got to communicate that stuff. You got to have those serious conversations at dinner. Baby, what can I do better? What can I do? What can I work on that makes you smile? What can I do that makes you happier? What am I lacking in? You got to have those open, candid conversations with each other. And you got to be honest with each other.
And then you got to, learn each other's love language. Because we all have a love language.
I'm going to let you talk for a second. Go ahead. Tell me to ask you questions. You good at that.
Child, I was about to go to sleep. Okay. So he wanted me to take the camera. We have guests downstairs. So he's about to go in. He'll be back. So I was saying the love language. So Deanna, is it Dion, Miss Jones? So just learning each other's love language, because we all have a love language. Like, for instance, Donald, his love language is he loves attention. So, and I'm a type of person, I'm not the most affectionate person. So, but he love attention. Like, whether I'm just rubbing his hand, he be, oh, you rub my hand, baby? You holding my hand? I'm like, really? Or just rubbing his head, or if we're out, just give him a hug, or just tell him I love him randomly. Like, he love attention. So I know that's his love language. So if we're just, if we're, like right now, we're in the theater room, he may lay on one side of the couch, I may be on the other side of the couch. Or I may be in my own little world, but I know, okay, let me just lay up under him. Because I know he want me close to him, and he want the touch. He want me to touch him. He want me to rub on him. So he love that attention. So just being up on him, cuddling, that just makes his day. And it also brings us closer to each other. And my love language is time. I don't care about attention. You don't have to be romantic. You don't have to buy me any nice gifts. Just spend time. He know if he spend time with me, I'm happy. If he come home, spend time with the girls, and just give me an hour break, I'm happy. So that's my love language, is time. I love quality time, spending time with my family, spending time with him, and he's all about attention. So I think just knowing what works for that other person. Let's see. Is that marriage? Yeah, someone said you have to be friends in your marriage. Yes, that is definitely true. Being friends is a really, really good, very important, because if you're friends with each other, that means you're going to like each other. So in order to love one another, you got to like that person. So it's just like having a girlfriend or a friend girl, or two guys being, buddies, whatever. You have to like a person or to say, okay, that's my friend. I think this is a girl I can hang out with, and we can, this can be my friend. If you don't like that person, the relationship is not going to work. So you have to start, being friends with your spouse, and make your spouse your best friend. And once they become your best friend, you can't help but to love that person.
And I just want to encourage. I just want to make sure you guys not misunderstand what I'm saying. It's okay to have a life outside your spouse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's perfectly fine. But it should not be an ongoing thing. Because what happens is, if you always make it that you got to hang out with your friends other than your spouse, that's when the enemy creeps in. So you got to understand, the devil is crafty. He's very sneaky, and he's looking for every opportunity to infiltrate your marriage, to come in your marriage. And he will send his worker bees, which is worker bees are people that sold out to the devil, and their job is to destroy marriages. Their job is to come in and take your husband. Their job is to come in and take your wife from you. That's their job. They have no heart for God. All they looking for is money and looking for an opportunity to get some money. A lot of these women don't care about marriages. A lot of these women just caring about how their bills is going to get paid, and they don't mind borrowing your husband for a season to get their car note paid. People are desperate, and they don't care. The morals went out the window 10 years ago. People they operating with zero morals right now. You got to understand, people do not care about marriage anymore. They don't value marriage anymore. So they do not care about your husband, about your children. They don't care about that. All they care about is helping getting some bills paid and getting their next Chanel purse. And they would give him sex. They would do whatever. They would do a better job than you could ever imagine that you ever done. You saying? Because they know they got to work twice as hard to try to blow that man's mind to keep him paying. So while you letting your husband go out every weekend, you are setting yourself up for not having a husband anymore. Because all it takes is hanging around with the wrong people, and the devil get in his ear and say, hey, your wife done gained some weight. She ain't fine no more. That girl fine. She 26 years old. Go ahead, Doc. You deserve you a little something, something. Next thing you know, that dude is sprung. He done lost feelings for you because he's in lust with somebody else. And that man cleaning out y'all's savings account, taking care of a whole nother family across town. I see it happen all the time. Am I right, baby? All the time. Why? Because everybody want to be single and married. So that's my thoughts on that. Any other questions? We haven't did one of these in a long time, baby.
I have.
Mr. Seneca and Donald, do y'all agree that both got to be willing to fight for their marriage? No, I don't agree that both have to fight for their marriage. I believe if one person fight with a strong prayer life, God can help change that other person. Because let me tell you something. Sometimes a woman, a man could be lost and have a stronghold with the enemy on their mind. And if that person is a strong prayer warrior, and that person got some holy oil, and that person could lay hands on their husband or wife while they sleep and get in that war room and they pray and fight. Because you remember, you don't fight in flesh, you fight in the spirit. You understand what I'm saying? So it depends how strong your prayer life is. Baby, with a strong prayer life, God can change any man. God can change any woman. Now, after you done all that you can do, you done fought for your husband, you done fought for your wife, and you done prayed, you done laid hands, and you done had counseling, and you done did the holy oil, and that man still disrespecting you, that man still cheating on you, that man still disrespecting you, then guess what? The Bible said you got to do what you got to do, and if that man cheated on you, the Bible gives you the right to be able to divorce your husband. If that man's beating you, I don't believe that any woman should be in a relationship that getting beat up or getting mistreated like that. Now, if your husband cheated on you But you know he has a good heart. He just got caught up. And I think there should be forgiveness. But if he keep on doing it, then guess what? You know, that's a whole different story. Because people do fall short. People do make mistakes. And things do happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't think just because a person cheat one time, you should divorce him. I think you should go to counseling and pray for him. And a person can change with the touch of God. There's too many people divorcing on one cheat. Well, guess what? We cheated on God so many times. We cheated on God so many times with the devil. I don't think you should stay in an ongoing cheating marriage. No. Once a cheater is always a cheater is a lie straight from hell. Emotional abuse is bad.
She was just, I guess, responding to someone else was asking about emotional abuse. It's just as bad as physical abuse.
Any other questions? What works for my wife and I, that we are best friends. We are super best friends. Oh, you already told me that?
I talked about best friends when you know.
That's my best friend, y'all. And we laugh, we joke. Man, we'll sit up here in this theater room, man, and we laugh about the silliest stuff. I bet some people saw us laughing about something. They're like, y'all just goofy. No, man, we just happy. We happy. We happy. It don't take much to make us laugh. And Christ makes all things new. Baby, you held it down while I was gone?
I tried.
Oh.
You know, like public.
You know, she's so shy, y'all. 10 years ago, ain't nowhere in the world she would have been on live.
And plus, I wasn't even ready for this. I could look out crazy.
Any other questions or any other concerns? And be willing to please each other, y'all. I think a lot of times people are selfish in marriage. You know what I mean? You got to be willing to please each other. You got to be willing to care about what your husband wants. You got to be willing to care about what your wife wants. A lot of times, a lot of men feel like just because I make the money, you know what I'm saying, that's all. You got to be concerned what makes your wife happy. And women, you got to be wanting to be everything your husband wants you to be. You got to be willing to get freaky. You got to be willing to do those things. Y'all married. The bed is not defiled. A lot of y'all cutting up when y'all was dating and got married, and all of a sudden, that's not right. I can't do it. No. That man should not want to look for anything outside his marriage. Everything should be in his marriage. Everything should be handled in that bedroom. He should not have to look for another woman to do this or to do that. Everything should be pleased in his own bed.
Same thing go for
the woman. Same thing go for the man. A man should always have food to eat, and his you know what, should always be empty. Period.
But that's just that goes back to communication.
Right.
You know, so many people, they don't talk and communicate their needs to one another. And sometimes you don't even realize that your other, like a man may not even realize that his wife is unhappy.
Right.
Or she's not getting pleased sexually the way she wants to be fulfilled, or vice versa. The woman may not realize the husband's not getting everything he wants at the house. And she probably like, well, I was a good wife. I cook for him. I raised the kids. I give him sex. And she probably thinking she's doing everything, but he probably want. And this is an example that another one of my friends, I don't want to put nobody's business out there, but she was just saying that her husband wanted
the mic.
Yeah, the mic. Like all the time. I was trying to think of a way to say it.
Just say the mic. They know what it is.
sure he wanted the mic, like, a lot. And she didn't want to be on the mic. Like, she used to be on the mic all the time.
And now he don't,
She, like, making excuses. She got a headache. She don't want to do this. She don't want to do. But she was having... she was getting intimate with them on a regular. But the mic part just went out the door. They dropped the mic. She dropped the mic, y'all.
She dropped the mic. Guys, let me explain something to you.
So she, every now and then she'll get on the mic, but it wasn't what he wanted.
Right.
So he started
creeping,
stepping out on her.
Right.
And she found out about it. And they worked it out, but it was because he wanted that more.
Right.
And she didn't understand, but that's just one example. But
let me explain something to you guys. When you are married, and even if you're desire to get married, you got to know what you're signing up for. A marriage, that part takes work, because a lot of times you're not gonna want to feel like doing the mic, but this is your husband. You know what I mean? And the work part is being willing to put in that work to please him, because if he's faithful to you, you want him to stay being faithful to you, and he has no other outlet but you. A man should not masturbate. A woman should not masturbate, because masturbation is a sin, guys. You understand what I'm saying? So the only outlet that we have is marriage. So therefore, we depend on our spouse to satisfy all our sexual needs. That's why the Bible says, do not deprive your mate of having sex unless y'all come to agreement with a time, maybe fasting. But even God tells you to get your freak on in your marriage. God tells you to get your freak on. So I don't know what happened with these marriages, sexless marriages. There's so many sexless marriages out there. People are going months without having sex. People are going weeks without having sex. And you wonder why you grew apart. Mm-hmm. Intimacy brings your soul. Your soul connects with intimacy. That's why the Bible says the two shall become one. You becoming one spiritually. Your soul is connecting. The reason why we so close, because we are always connecting. You understand what I'm saying? We are always connecting. So therefore, we always have a desire for one another, because not only we spiritually connected, we are physically connected, because it's something about sex and marriage. God blesses it. God blesses your sex life when a husband comes together and a wife come together in sex. It blesses the union, because it's holy sex. And God loves that. God loves when people come together in marriage.
She's like, Felicia.
Where in the Bible?
No, Felicia. What she say? Men got to understand that when they're mean to us, our butterfly won't open. Now when they know how to communicate right, our butterfly will open.
Okay, if you want to find where it says, in the Word of God says that you come together unless you agree not to come together unless you fasting. Just Google sex and marriage Bible scriptures, and it will pop up, and we will give you that. But you have to have that intimacy in your marriage. And the main reason why people grow apart is because they're not coming together in the bedroom. And a soul, most likely, they are connecting with somebody else. See, the problem is, if you're not having sex with your husband, or if you're not having sex with your wife, eventually they're going to wind up having sex with somebody else, especially if they don't have a strong intimacy with God. And once that person have a sex life with somebody else, they're going to start losing feelings for their spouse. And that's how you get into these sexless marriages. and you're walking around in the same house, not even speaking to one another because y'all not spiritually connected anymore because their spirit has got connected with somebody else. And that's why it's called soul tie. It's a lot of soul ties in marriages right now, and the soul ties with somebody outside of their marriage. And when you have a soul tie outside your marriage, you might as well cancel that marriage because it's going to be very difficult for that marriage to survive because that husband or that wife is connected to someone else spiritually. Their soul is connected to somebody else. And that's why you have so many divorces, because people are so connected to somebody other than their wife or somebody else other than their husband. And you lose feelings for each other, and you lose the desire to even communicate with each other because all that's on your mind is the person you're sleeping with outside marriage. That's a very dangerous thing to do, is have sex outside your marriage with somebody else. That's the number one reason the enemy comes creeping in. Well, what did you say, Felicia? I'm sorry, I missed your comment. Men got to understand that when they're men to us, a butterfly won't open. Yeah, I mean, you gotta warm the oven up. You know what I mean? You gotta, show affection to your spouse. Let them know that they're fine. Slap them on the butt. Kiss on them and make it fun. Make a woman want to get with you as well. No, it's our responsibility to cut the oven on. I get it. Yeah, men know that. They know that, but a lot of times we as men can get lazy, and it's a few times my wife had to get on me. So you're 100% on point. But she don't have a problem with communicating with me. Turn the oven on, baby. Okay. Turn the oven on, baby.
I like that. Turn the oven on.
Got to turn the oven on.
Warm me up first.
Yeah, you got to turn the oven on. That's right. Men, turn the oven on. When you was dating, y'all turned that oven on. Do you see anything?
What I was looking for.
Sex, what the Bible says about sex and marriage.
I mean, it says a lot of stuff about
Okay,
it.
but
I'm just saying what
it should say that a man should not deprive his wife and a woman should not deprive a husband.
It was
likewise.
I think it was in Proverbs, I believe. Wait, I just saw it.
Yeah, it's right here. Do not deprive one another. 1 Corinthians 7:5. Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement or limited time, that you may devote yourselves in prayer. But then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So basically, the word of God says, don't deprive one another, because that's when the enemy comes in to try to tempt you to cheat.
They say,
get your freak on, y'all. You married. Man, I'm telling you, when you married, marriage is beautiful because you can get your freak on all the time and you ain't sinning, y'all. Y'all know that's the biggest struggle being single is trying to control that oven. That's the biggest struggle being single. So how you gonna be married and not have sex? Something wrong with that. Another reason why marriage is suffering, because there's too many men and too many women watching pornography. Y'all better stop watching that porn. If you want to destroy, the quickest way to destroy your marriage is watch pornography. I'm telling you, porn is destroying marriages out there, guys. So if you're married and your spouse watching porn, it's just a matter of time that it kills your marriage. I'm telling you. I thank God he delivered me. Because porn will destroy your marriage. Because when I got delivered from porn, it changed everything.
Sure did.
Porn would destroy your marriage, y'all, because it confuses a person's mind, and it makes a man look at their wife totally different, or it make a woman look at their husband totally different. It would destroy your marriage. And a lot of people say, well, me and my husband, we watch porn together. That is a sin. That is a sin. That is adultery, because you're spiritually connecting what you see on the screen.
And it's so innocent. It seems like it's so innocent to just watch it, especially when you married, because you thinking, because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I knew when I was single it was wrong, but when I got married, I used to be like, so it's just porn. We're watching it together. Like,
that's a threesome.
I'd rather for you to watch it and go out there and do it for real. So I was okay with it in the beginning, but as we, as time went on, we sort of realized, like, this is not right. As you grow stronger spiritually, you know that porn is a sin. Whether you married or single, you shouldn't have porn in your marriage.
Yeah. You're inviting a third person in your bedroom. You're inviting a stranger in your bedroom. And you are inviting your open Pandora's box. You're giving the devil legal rights in your marriage. When you watch porn as a couple, or even by yourself, you're allowing Satan to come into your life. You're opening the door to the devil. Come on in, Satan, because he came through the pornography. Amen. Any other questions? And if you are single, ladies and men, you can be successfully single without having sex. You just got to devote yourself to Christ for real. You got to have an intimacy, a real relationship with God, and God will give you everything you need to be able to sustain until he bring you your mate. All right, guys. I guess that's all the questions. Well, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope we was able to answer a lot of questions about who to prize, and everybody that's a woman that's not a wife. There's plenty of women out there that's not wife material. There's plenty of men out there that's not husbands. You need to identify those people quickly. And women, don't waste your time with men that's not husband material. And men don't waste your time with women that's not wifey material. The Bible says you will know them by their fruits. Wash their fruit. And women, remember what I said, wash the man's eyes. Eyes will tell you a lot about a man, okay? And vice versa. All right? All right. You want to say bye, baby?
Bye, y'all.
Hey, baby,
Good night.
I got my wife to come on video with me, y'all. It's been a long time Seneca joined me, the mortgage mom boss. Y'all remember, if y'all ever looking to buy a home, Seneca can help you get you in a home anywhere in Texas, anywhere in Mississippi. She can refinance you. She can put you in a brand new home. She can put you in a pre-existing home. And she can do commercial loans anywhere in the United States. QualityLendingGroup.com.
I can do investment loans too anywhere in the United States.
Investment loans?
So if you're an investor looking to purchase an investment property, a multi-unit, duplex, triplex, quad, or just looking to this is only for if you're looking to rent the property out, not flips, just rental, investment property that you're trying to rent and hold anywhere in the United States, I can help you purchase an investment property.
All right, guys, share this video. I believe the Lord really spoke a lot and gave a lot of great knowledge through us to help people in marriage and people that desire to get married. Share this with people that you love. Share it on your page and just say, when you share it, just say Christian advice on marriage, concerning marriage. Say Christian advice on marriage when you share this video, because a lot of people really don't know how to be married. There's a lot of people don't know how to be married. And it truly takes Christ, y'all. I know people say you got to have God in your marriage. No, but you really do have to have God in your marriage, because the enemy number one job is to destroy marriages. He hates anything that God put together. The moment you say I do, he wants to say you don't. So you gotta have to have a devoted relationship with Christ. Even if he's not, you gotta have it, and pray for his maturity, or vice versa. Man, you pray for your wife's maturity, because he's the only way that you're gonna have a happiness in your marriage. He is the mayonnaise to our bread, y'all. Christ is truly the mayonnaise to our bread. Without him, that sandwich will not taste good. So he is the mayonnaise to our bread, and I pray that he becomes the mayonnaise to your bread in your marriage. And the only way you got to be able to do that, you got to have a true relationship with him 24/7, 7 days a week. You got to be Christian in the morning, Christian in the afternoon, Christian at night, Christian at midnight. You got to have an ongoing relationship with Christ, and he will become your everything, and your marriage will have all the seasoning it needs to be successful. Love you guys. Be blessed.